Hi, my name is Laura Godwin and I am the owner of Doggi Brisbane. We are a dog behavioural school based in Paddington. So I'm a dog behaviourist, been working with dogs for quite a few years now. I actually got into it because of this little munchkin here. This is Winnie. I adopted him when he was about 10 months old and he was an absolute terror. I could not get him under control. And then I started doing more research into dog behaviour and dog psychology, and one thing led to another, and now I am in the business of it. So it all started off with crate training Winnie. He was overexcited, he was boisterous, he was overstimulated. And when I learnt about the benefits of crate training, I obviously got him crate trained, and now I use him to help all of the other dogs that we overcome their difficult behaviours with. I like to just talk to people about the similarities between crate training your dog would be similar to putting your baby in a cot. You don't just sort of put your baby on the ground and let them rest on the ground and hope for the best. You pop them into the cot because you know they're safe in there and that they're going to rest in there, and it becomes a safe environment for the baby. They learn to switch off in there. It's exactly the same thing for a dog, but it's something that we'll do from the minute you get your dog home to right up to when they're a senior. So crates aren't just for the first 6 months or 1 year of a dog's life, it's for their full life. So I actually have a 17-year-old dog and he loves his crate. He still sleeps in it every night. So think of it as for life. I recommend you use a crate from day one. So again, the puppy's been taken away from its mother, its siblings. Anxiety might be a little high for that puppy at that time. So if you can provide them with something that comes naturally to them, instinctually to them, popping them in a crate, they're going to feel a lot more comfortable in their new environment. It's also setting them up for success for their new household, their new life in your household. So letting them know that this is like their little bedroom. So this is where they go to chill out. This is where they can go if they're anxious, they're unsure about something, or they just want some downtime. If you can set this up from day one, you're going to have a very happy puppy. So separation anxiety is probably the number one behavioural problem that we deal with here at Doggi, and I know lots of other trainers deal with the same thing. So separation anxiety forms when dogs are well, there's no leadership provided, number one, but dogs are secondly allowed to form that unhealthy connection with their owner. So they might continuously be following them around the house, sitting at their feet all the time, jumping on them, on the couch with them, sleeping in the bed with them. So crate training just solves a lot of these problems. So if your dog can sleep in a crate overnight, if they can go into there for downtime during the day, that's enforcing separation. You can get on with whatever you need to do, work from home, kids, whatever you're up to. The dog goes in there for downtime. When you go out to work, or if you pop out for a couple of hours, utilize your crate. Dogs, puppies especially, are actually too young to be free roaming the house at such a young age. So I would be utilizing my crate when I went to work. So I know that one, my puppy's safe because they can't get up to anything destructive. But two, it's helping them keep a calm state of mind because they're not pacing at doorways, they're not jumping on couches, they're not destroying anything in my house, they're resting. And it's creating that, when I've left the house, it's creating that calm association. Another great reason for crate training is if you have guests coming over to your house and you find your dog gets overly excited, or they could even get a bit anxious at the thought of visitors coming into the house. Crates are great because it's, again, you've built up your crate to represent a safe space for the dog. So you've got visitors coming to the house, I'd pop them in the crate so that they're in their safe environment and they actually don't have to worry about the visitors coming in, because they know that nothing can happen to them when I'm in my little bedroom, and they're going to feel a lot happier, and it's going to reduce jumping on people and barking at people coming into your house. So with children, obviously really important that you advocate for not only the dog but also the child, depending on who's in the wrong there. But crates are great because a lot of dogs, they don't actually like to be harassed by little toddlers running around, grabbing on fur, all that sort of stuff. And also it's preventative. So you would hate for your dog to sort of put up with it for so long, and then all of a sudden, there might be an incident with the dog and the child. So if you can crate your dog, it actually, again, provides them with that bedroom so they feel nice and safe. They don't have to worry about threat of the toddler coming and grabbing their paws. And it just removes any sort of worry that you may have in the house, because puppy or dog or even senior dog is safe in the crate away from the children. Crates are great for teaching boundaries around food. So if your dog is highly food motivated, most of them are, and you don't have the time. So you've got, lots of people coming over for a birthday or Christmas. You don't have the time to be keeping an eye on your dog all the time, making sure that they're not stealing food from the table or the guests aren't feeding them from the table. I'd always use a crate around that time. Not only does it protect your dog from getting anything that they shouldn't be eating, but also it creates boundaries around food, which is very important to having a balanced dog that can be calm and respectful around food. Storms, anything like that, crates are great for preventing these phobias developing. But if you do have that phobia, by popping your dog in a crate and say New Year's Eve when you know there's going to be lots of fireworks, firstly, your dog's going to be safe. There's no risk of them escaping. You hear about all those runaway dogs on New Year's Eve, so your dog's safe in there. But also because you've built up this crate as their safe environment, they're going to relax in there and they're actually not going to stress and be worried about the fireworks or the storm or whatever's going on. So again, protecting that state of mind is so important. A dog that's not crate trained is more prone to having anxiety, as I said before. So either separation anxiety, or they might have impulsive behaviors such as patrolling front doors, fences. So when they are put into a crate, they've kind of got the weight of the world on their shoulders. So when they go into a crate, they're like, well, I'm supposed to be looking after my parents or my household. And when they're confined to a crate, it actually will scare them more because they're not actually used to having that off switch and having the safe space it's not meaningful to them. So they may panic if you put them in a crate at the vet or a grooming salon or even boarding kennels, and they're not used to it. So it's a place of familiarity for your dog. So when you move house, if your dog will be obviously as for humans, it can be a little bit uneasy, a little bit anxiety inducing moving house. There's a lot going on, boxes, people moving everywhere. But if you can pop your dog in their crate, they're going to feel a lot safer about a new environment. Again, lots of people like to travel with their dogs these days. So if you can have your dog crate trained, it makes the car trip easier because they can sit in the crate in the car and they will just rest. And two, when you do go to a hotel room, a lot of places don't actually allow dogs on beds and couches. So at least you can provide your dog with their little bedroom in your hotel room. They're safe and sound. If you wanted to go out while you're in your hotel room, you can utilize your crate as well. So again, the dog's going to feel a lot safer in an unknown environment because they've got their crate that they're familiar with. I would definitely recommend crate training your first dog before bringing a second dog into the household, because that is just a recipe for sibling syndrome to develop. But so say you've already got your first one crate trained and you're bringing your second one home, I would pop the second one in a crate, and I would just be allowing interactions through the crate. So just letting the dogs to know each other from a distance, because you see all those Facebook videos of people introducing puppies and popping them straight down and letting the original dog sniff like crazy all over it. It's actually very bad manners for the older dog to do that to the younger one. Also, it's just not setting them up for a very positive relationship. So definitely crate training both of them. But when you've got two dogs, it's very important that they do have their time apart from each other. So crates are a great way to enforce that. When crates are used correctly and the dog is crate trained correctly, you could move your dog to any crate. So obviously we have these beautiful pause room crates. So when the dog knows that it's in like the four walls and the roof is over it, it still represents a crate. So that's why it's important if you crate train at home, it flows into when they're at the vet, when they're at the groomers, when they go and stay with family and friends. That crate it has the same representation no matter where it is, no matter what location it's in. One of the big takeaways from crate training is that it will solve and help prevent a lot of behavioural problems. But again, your dog just loves it. It almost becomes a bit of a sanctuary for them. I mean, look at Harry there. Like, he could not be any more relaxed in that crate. So it's just so important for providing leadership for your dog, but it also helps create a balanced, happy, calm dog.